Guys, quick disclaimer for this video. I messed up the Titans and Texans. So we're going to be talking about the Texans on week 9 and the Titans on week 14. But in real life, it's actually the Titans on week 9 and the Texans on week 14. But yeah, enjoy the video. Eli, want to say hi?
Hello.
And yeah, so the Bears' schedule came out today. And we're just going to go through it and give our opinions on some games. And yeah, so we'll start off. So the first game, week 1, the Bears are scheduled to play the Lions at Detroit. And not playing Green Bay week 1, which is great. And yeah, it's just Eli, you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, first off, who did the Lions draft? That are like weapons. They drafted JT, didn't they?
Like, yeah, Jeffrey Okuda, I think, and like DeAndre Swift,
Yeah,
I
they did
think.
get Okuda.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much just replaced. I mean, it's pretty much the same team. They replaced Slay with Okuda and just add some backfield support.
Mm-hmm. And
I
yeah,
mean,
I think.
not much new there.
Yeah, I think, the Bears have beat the Lions 4 straight times, is it? I think the Bears haven't won a week 1 game since, like, I think 2012. So this is very realistic opportunity to get a win. I think this is great. I mean, Bears fans have been struggling, like, week 1 for the past 8 years. It's like, this would be a nice win. I think the Bears will win this game. I think at Detroit, it doesn't. I think they'll go into Detroit and win. But
Yeah, it's also nice to get like a road game win right away because that
Mhm.
just X's one off the list.
yeah, that it is nice. Yeah, I think and just to start 1-0 is just a great feeling. Get confidence on the team. Maybe Mitch. I think Mitch it has a good chance of starting against the Lions because
Yeah.
he's beaten them 4 times in a row. But
Well, I think. Actually, I think technically 2 of those were Daniels.
oh
Thanksgiving.
yeah, Thanksgiving. So 3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't be tough. So I think they'll give him a chance. I don't.
Mhm.
I think. I don't really know who's gonna. I mean, I think they got to give it to Mitch to start week 1, right?
I think so too.
I think
I think
even if Foles outplays him in preseason, I don't really see. I know it's open for competition, and I know that they will bench Mitch event. Like I give them, Mitch gets 2 starts,
Mhm.
and if depending on that is if he'll get benched.
Yeah, I think like Bears fans are always saying in like every comment section like, "Oh, give up on Mitch," and it's like, do you think Ryan Pace really do that? That's like giving up his job basically. I think.
Yeah.
I think you got to start Mitch, and plus people forget the 2018 season, and they always argue that it's our defense, but the offense has some part to do with it. It's not just the defense who scores the points. It's like I think Mitch has a lot of potential. I think. And this Lions game right away could like really be a confidence booster for him. Just keep him rolling.
Yeah. Also, don't forget. I mean, this is
Mhm.
Mitch's mentor was Mike Glennon.
Yeah, Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon got benched after 4 games because he couldn't hack it in the NFL. Okay,
Yeah.
not because they thought Mitch was better, because Mike Glennon couldn't physically do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's for the first time ever. He's getting a real mentor, and they brought in John DeFilippo, who
Yeah, he's a
invented Carson Wentz and Nick Foles in Philly.
yeah. I think like the Bears are just helping him out. Getting him some weapons, getting him the right coaching, and a Super Bowl MVP. As a quarterback to I guess back up if you want to say, but I mean he could start too, but I think Mitch will start week 1. But yeah, just surrounding Mitch with the best, and that actually I think Nagy has to adapt too. I feel like because get Mitch running out in the pocket. Like get him.
That's the thing I think Nick will be able to help him with. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Nick's a big guy who knows how to take hits like Mitch does. I mean,
Yeah,
I think that will help him learn how to be able to roam out of the pocket, and I think hopefully Nagy will be able to trust him with that.
for sure. Yeah. So yeah, Lions week 1 and Next up is week 2 against the Giants at home, the home opener. Yeah, I think this is. I mean, the Bears beat the Giants last year with the struggling Mitch Trubisky, so I think they could definitely have their number this year again too. Yeah, I think great matchup. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the Giants have a great offensive core with Danny, Saquon, Darius Slayton as the new wide receiver one, and Evan Ingram. That's a great core. Like
That
they
is,
got
yeah.
a great leader at each spot that will develop immensely.
Plus, they got a new offensive lineman in the draft too. For
that's the one. I don't know why they drafted Andrew Thomas. If I'm being honest, like
that's
I don't
true.
follow offensive linemen too much, but I thought the consensus one was Wirfs or Wills from Alabama.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised Wirfs fell to 14 at the Buccaneers. I thought he was like you said, one of the best linemen in the draft too.
I thought he was going 4th overall, but I don't know. But I mean, they still have not added much support to that defense.
Oh yeah, that Giants defense is. I think
they've lost Landon Collins, Eli Apple. I mean, they've been just sliced at second.
Yeah, like I
best
can't.
Defensive player like right now, like is it Alec Ogletree?
I don't know. I think so. It's like Leonard Williams, I think, but I think that's about it. I think
they picked him up.
Yeah.
Because the Jets didn't want to re-sign him.
I think so. Yeah, and I think this is going to be I think another game. If Mitch does play, another confidence booster. That's the thing about these first couple games. Like confidence is key, and I think the 2 nice opponents that Mitch has definitely beaten before is great for him to get his confidence going for the rest of the season. And Mitch, when he's confident, he is a great quarterback. We've seen it in 2018 when we're on these win streaks. He's a great quarterback. Yeah, I think.
For sure.
Yeah, I think these couple games, especially Giants, would help Mitch out. So week 3 is.
No, also after these first 2 games, like I said earlier, I think the first 2 games he'll get for sure. I mean, if he's struggling after these first 2 games, he's done no matter what.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
If he struggles in those first 2, yeah, they're gonna bench him.
Yeah, I think so too. So week 3 is against the Falcons at Atlanta. Yeah, I think the Falcons, we were talking earlier, I mean, not a great defense, pretty good offense, but they added Todd Gurley. But I think, I think the Bears could win this game too, I think. Yeah, I'd like Matt.
Yeah. So, the Falcons, I think, have the best wide receiver core in the game now that the Vikings split up Thielen and Diggs. I mean, Ridley at the 2 with Julio at the 1. That's
a great duo.
That's going to be the first true test to the Bears secondary.
I think so too. Yeah, and I mean, the Bears. I think the offense will roll this game. I think it could be a shootout. I think it could be with 2 pretty good offenses. Or maybe not us, but maybe the fact that the Falcons defense isn't too great, and that Mitch could, or Foles, I don't know, by the time could have a good game, and it could be a shootout, I think. And yeah, it should be a good game, I think.
I think the thing to watch at this point will be, Todd Gurley's knee, first of all, if he's playing. I mean, they cut Freeman. They traded Coleman 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They don't have much running back help. I think they're rolling with Ito Smith and Gurley as their 1-2 punch. And
yeah. I think
Gurley could go down anytime. No one really knows anything about arthritis in the knee.
Yeah, he's definitely like a questionable. I mean, that's probably why I think the Rams did give him up or decide to move on from him.
Yeah, it must have hurt for them to have to make that decision.
And yeah, I think maybe it's one of those situations where he balls out for the Falcons on a new team might help him get a little bit of swagger back, but we'll see. It'll be an interesting game. Uh,
For sure.
yeah. So moving on to week 4. It's against the Colts. At Soldier Field. Colts did add. They got Philip Rivers this offseason. Um, I think they got an interesting quarterback situation with uh Philip Rivers and Brissett because you got young Jacoby Brissett, and I mean I guess they did bring in Philip Rivers to start, but I think Brissett is not too much. You know they're pretty sim. I think they're pretty similar skill set. But I think Rivers will probably start for the game, but uh, yeah, we'll see. But
Yeah,
Colts.
Rivers is. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they got the Colts have. I don't. They have one of the best offensive lines. I don't want to say the best, but
Mm-hmm.
they definitely have a top tier offensive line. So
Mm-hmm.
this will be a good test for like the pass rush really near because I mean
Mm-hmm.
those first 3 teams are going to be struggling in the offensive line department.
Yeah, I
So I
think
think that'll be a good test for the defense. I think they'll have to rely pretty heavily on the. They'll have to rely heavily. This is the first game they'll have to rely on the offense to put points on the board.
mm-hmm.
Like they're gonna need. I mean, obviously they need that every game, but they're gonna really need the offense to step it up for this game if they're slow going in the
Mm-hmm.
start.
I agree. Yeah, I think you look at these first 4 opponents, and it's like you don't see anyone that sticks out. That's a decent team. I think that could be like you mentioned confidence a lot so far, but a lot of confidence for the team in these first 4 games. Not too great of opponents. They're definitely winnable games, but I think if we'll really see what this team is if we don't win, if we're not don't come out of these 4 games. I think 4-0 or 3-1. I think we might, I don't know, we might have a little bit of a problem. 2-2 might be okay, but I think 3-1 or 4-0 really tell you about this team.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's always tough to expect a team to go 4-0.
That is true. Yeah.
The first 4 games, I mean,
hmm
I think the early consensus looks like they might.
Yeah. I mean, I think so too. The so yeah, I think next up, week 5 is like the real test of their first real test, which is against the Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. Tom Brady comes to Soldier. This should be a great game. Definitely a hot ticket if they do have fans in the stands, but I think this will be a great game for the Bears. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure about Tom Brady. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he did not look good in New England last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the first real year you saw a major drop off from him.
Yeah.
I mean, they won games where he had 0 touchdown passes
Mm-hmm.
against like teams like the Bills, like division rivals, with like this year, like teams he's played against in his past. I mean, he did not play well.
He did not, nah. And
Now
yeah.
you plug him into a new team, new system, the Arians offense. He's never played with that offensive style before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people maybe overhyping them a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that they got the weapons to surround them. I mean, not a great running back core. They got Gronk. The defense is a little bit of a question to me. Like, I can't. Their defensive line is good, but besides that, I can't name a key player in their secondary or linebacker core.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I think about Brady, I mean, obviously, if there's one thing we've learned from him, it's never count him out.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I think he's not much of an aired out quarterback. I mean, he's always been like a 5-yard slant guy and just able to like hit him on the run. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's able to set guys up, which
Yeah.
could be key for Tampa. but that's not the offense Arians wants to run. Really, he wants to go air it out all the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff up in the air there. It should be a good game. I think we'll just have to wait and see. I think it could go either way. It depends on what the Bears maybe records at for. I mean, if Mitch is hot, Foles is playing good. Who knows who's gonna be play quarterback at this time? But we'll have to see. So moving on to week 6 is definitely one of the Bears' toughest rushing opponents so far. It's Christian McCaffrey and the Carolina Panthers at Carolina. This should be a tough task for the Bears' defense to stop CMC, but keep in mind, I guess the Bears have a great run defense, probably one of the best in the league. So this should definitely be a great matchup. I think it'll be a good game.
I really wonder, I think one thing teams will be doing this offseason is, figuring out the best ways to contain players like CMC, because they kind of figured it out at the end of last year, how to, control that problem a little bit.
Yeah, I think
spread guys out. So I'll be curious to see if by then, if teams will have figured out their game plan and are able to just strategize against it to force the ball, because I think the Bears are going to pretty much make Kyle Allen throw the ball to beat them.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll definitely make him throw the ball because that run defense is insane. We know what they can do on offense, but that defense, that is not looking. That defense looks like complete rebuild. They drafted a couple guys, but come on now,
did they take Isaiah Simmons?
They picked Derek Brown, I think, the defensive lineman.
Oh, Derek Brown from Auburn.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I just think it might come with a little time. Our offensive line isn't.
That's a good pick, but that's just not an immediate impact player.
I agree, and the Panthers. If you look at these first 6 games, you don't really see a standout defense. I guess I don't really see one. I guess the Buccaneers D line is good.
The Buccaneers got Vita Vea, but.
I think this, I feel the offense has to perform good these first 6. I want them to so bad,
Yeah,
this,
I think they'll probably be riding Montgomery a lot for the first 6 games.
Yeah.
And then I think they'll get a bet, and then they'll just kind of run Montgomery out and end the game. But
yeah,
I think as the season goes on and the schedule gets tougher and the defenses get tougher, I think they're going to rely more on Mitch to do most of the work. I think they could hand the ball off many times in a row and score against these first defenses.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Matt Nagy's we got to use Nagy. He's got to be smart with his game planning. I think which he's shown that he can do that. Maybe not last year as much, but if we bring Nagy out of his shell, I think this offense could be great and he could win some games. But
I think the main focus for these early games, don't get too cute with it. Don't worry about dressing it up. Trust the offense. Trust that they're gonna figure it out. We're not gonna be able to have to burn through a bunch of trick plays early on.
And that's true. Nagy has been known to dress up plays, like you said, and get too cute with it. It's it gets a little out of hand sometimes. It's just keep it simple. It's I think that'll be key.
Last year when you would see Mitch Trubisky and Daniels on the field at the same time, it's Daniels can't really throw it or run or catch, so I don't know what he's doing out there.
Yeah,
as like, this year something like that might work better, but save it for a real game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, but we'll see. I think this year Nagy. I mean, I don't want to say he's on the hot seat, but I mean, he's got to produce this year. I mean, he's got to get back to
Yeah,
2018.
I mean, if Nagy can do what he did in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
like similar offense where Mitch was able to roll him out of the. Mitch was like a free roam quarterback. I mean, he was free to do what he wants. He's got to
Mm-hmm.
let him. He's got to cut him some slack and get him off the leash a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to week 7, it's against the Rams at the at Rams Monday Night Football. Um, yeah, I think we played the Rams like the past 3. It'll be this year will be the 3rd year in a row we played the Rams. You know they lost Todd Gurley. They lost Brandon Cooks, I think too. I mean the offense. I mean honestly, besides McVay's offensive mind and I guess Goff. I mean nothing really too great. I mean they got Aaron Donald too, decent secondary, but I think they're beatable. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing to remember is that was one of. I mean, I don't want to say one of the best Rams teams. That was one
Mm-hmm.
of the best Rams teams. I don't know if it's the best because the early '90s Rams were unbelievable,
Mm-hmm.
but that was, if not the best, the second best Rams team of all time. And the Bears beat them,
Mm-hmm.
and the next year played them pretty tough.
Mm-hmm. Not only
I
did they,
mean,
yeah, they
the
not only.
Bears know how to handle this team, and
Mm-hmm.
this team got a lot worse, I think.
Mm-hmm. They held them to 6 points in 2018. That year they went to the Super Bowl. I mean, Nagy or I don't know who's. I guess that's Fangio who put that together. But I mean, pure talent has something to do with it too. So I think
Yeah,
they they could easily get through this game. I think last year was close, but I mean, of course, last year was just crazy. I mean, the offense couldn't do anything, but hopefully they get it back on track and have a second shot at this team. But I think they could win this game. I think.
I think Jared Goff. I think Mitch is the most underrated quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that because I think he's like full of potential and everything. I'm just saying that because he gets so much undeserved hate
I know
directed
it's
at him.
insane. I mean,
And I'm not saying he's a top. I'm not even saying he's a top 20. I'm not even saying he's a top 30 quarterback necessarily.
mm-hmm.
But I think Jared Goff is in the same boat as. I think Jared Goff and Mitch are not too far apart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You think of
and they cut Goff's field stretcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, which are great receivers. He had Gurley, and he had Brandon Cooks, who at the time was a top 10 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And they were a great team, went to the Super Bowl, but they let go of some of that talent, like just a little bit of that talent. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were immediately worse. He
Mm-hmm.
struggled last year. He didn't look good.
Mm-hmm. And especially they didn't get really better at all in the offseason either. They added Leonard Floyd. That's the only one I can think of, and they lost a
Yeah, they
lot.
added Leonard Floyd, and that's
That's actually
because
yeah,
couldn't make the Bears.
yeah. I think the Rams keep getting worse, and hopefully we don't turn into them. Well, the talent's still there, but we're not losing anyone really too big. But hopefully we beat the Rams. I think it's a very good possibility. Yeah. So I'd say moving on to Week 8 versus the Saints at Soldier Field. A little revenge game for the last time they came in and just destroyed us basically. And huge game for us. But I think the Saints. They're only getting better. I feel like they added Emmanuel Sanders. They always got Taysom Hill, guys like that. Of course, Michael Thomas and Kamara. Defense is still good. I think it'll be a good game. Maybe one of the toughest games of the year for the Bears for sure.
I think if there's a game the Bears get blown out, I think it'd be this one.
I think so.
And I mean, obviously they always have a chance, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton's one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, paired with one of the best quarterbacks of all time, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
With the best receiver in the NFL right now,
Mm-hmm.
paired with the top 10 running back right now in the NFL.
It's just.
I mean, that offense is dangerous, and their defense is equally dangerous. Like, I mean,
yeah, I think
linebacker core is top 10. The defensive secondary might be the top 3.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm not really a big fan of the Saints. I didn't like. This is the thing that comes to mind to me is I think they're a little bit of a cocky team. Like, I think, like when they were taunting Tariq Cohen earlier, him and Sean Payton. Like Sean Payton was doing it too, so it's like a little bit of bad blood there. I kind of want some revenge. I feel a little bad for Tariq.
I would love nothing more than for the first play to be like a screen pass to Tariq Cohen and have Cordero Patterson running down the field and just hit stick one of the guys like Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, that would be great. And like
Tariq just explode up the field.
Yeah, that would be great. I feel like in general though, like I don't think size like matters on the field. Like like.
Have you seen the play of? To everyone listening, if you have doubts about small running backs or small players in general in the NFL, look up the video of Tariq Cohen blocking Dante Fowler. I mean, he lays out a 6'1" edge rusher.
I mean,
the dude's almost 300 pounds. Tariq Cohen lays him out like it's nothing.
I mean, he's a beast. Like, I give credit to the Bears. Besides, Mitch Trubisky so far, which I still think he has potential. That draft class, that 2017 draft class, like phenomenal job by Pace, with Eddie Jackson too, and all the other guys. Cohen's like a great gadget player. He can do anything. It's a lot like a lot of players in Nagy's offense, like Cordero, and they had Trevor Davis. But I think I think going back to the Saints game a little bit, I think like you said, it'd be great to get a little bit of revenge there. Hopefully get a win, and
I think this is going to be where the Bears have to start whipping out like not Mims. They have to start using Wims and Riley Ridley, Anthony Miller. This is going to be a big game for those young guys to prove themselves because, I mean, the Saints won't let Allen Robinson score. I mean,
yeah, they won't.
Marshawn Lattimore's going to be on him all game, and they'll have safety shadow help. They're not going to let him beat them.
For sure, yeah. I think this will be. I think they got to get to him early because the Saints did came out firing. Besides the Cordero Patterson kick return, it looked. I mean, we were up like 1, but it looked like the Saints were completely a better team that day, and I think starting off early would be good.
This will definitely have to be one of the game. I think the Bears are gonna have to start scoring on opening drives. I mean, that's one big thing they needed to start doing this year.
I mean, besides like the Thanksgiving game of last year, I don't think we scored on the first drive of the game. I mean, or a touchdown at least. But
honestly, the Bears usually did not score until the second half.
I know it was insane.
I should say that score a touchdown until the second half.
Oh yeah, I mean, remember that Chargers game when we couldn't score in the red zone? Like,
same thing with the Raiders game.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it was just
struggled against those bad teams, and that's why I'm saying. I mean, the schedule looks great to start, but I mean, I by no means expect them to start out 4-0.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe they got to get better themselves before I guess they take on bad opponents because maybe they're a little bit even. I bet those guys over there are saying we play the Bears, they can't do this, they can't do that. So I think the Bears got to get better themselves too, but I think the first 4 games will be great matchups for them, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, but moving on to week 9 is against the Texans. I mean, they lost what's his face? DeAndre Hopkins. They got David Johnson, which I mean, he's kind of.
Running back, just
Mhm.
running backs don't. I don't know. They don't. In fact, unless you're Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry, running
Mhm.
backs
They don't really like impact the game as much.
got to be something special.
Hmm. And I mean, the defense. I mean, besides Watt, if he's even healthy, I mean, Whitney Merciless is someone I can think of. I mean, I can't think of a decent player in the
They still
secondary.
got Matthew, I think.
Matthew, and then they got.
Byron.
I think they got like Bradley Roby, perhaps. I mean,
Yeah,
he's not even
yeah.
that good. I
Um,
think.
well,
I don't know. Yeah, I
I
think like.
think. I mean, I hate to speculate this far into the season, but I think this could be a first game under a different head coach. If Bill O'Brien's
Hmm.
and if Bill
Oh
O'Brien is
yeah.
still somehow miraculously there,
Hmm.
then even better for the Bears, honestly.
Yeah, I mean the Texans, I mean they got I know their fans are, livid. I mean trade
They're
DeAndre
calling on
Hopkins.
Bill O'Brien's head to be gone.
Yeah, I mean Bill O'Brien, like what are you doing? Like I taking like relationships, like your own relationship with Hopkins and not saying, "Oh, I don't like this guy," and trading him. It's like
Not,
you
I
gotta
mean,
you gotta value talent. Like you gotta help the
Hopkins
team win.
allegedly said
Hmm.
if if he had asked for a raise, he would have been gone. So he couldn't ask for a raise.
Yeah, I
He wanted
mean,
to stay there, but he knew he wouldn't, so he just left.
I don't know what like Bill O'Brien is doing. Honestly, like you gotta be like you think like it's not like Hopkins is like a locker room like cancer.
No,
It's like
I can't imagine what was running through Cliff Kingsbury's head
mm-hmm,
when he heard the Texans were trying to trade Hopkins away.
mm-hmm. And especially for like David Johnson. Like the thing is, like Kenyon Drake went off for the Cardinals last year.
That's like when you send someone a trade offer just to see like if they'll counter with something, and
Mm-hmm.
then they accept your original offer. That was pretty much just a joke.
Yeah, it's just it's a questionable trade. I think the Texans definitely. I mean, I don't. They got Brandon Cooks now. They still got like Will Fuller, but and they added Randall Cobb too. But I
The
don't.
Texans had one of the best receiver cores with
Mhm.
Hopkins, Fuller, and
Mhm.
Kenny Stills, but
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, they have. I think with Hopkins, I mean they looked.
the problem is every single one of the guys on their team, it seems like they're hurt every game. Brandon Cooks hurt every other game. Randall Cobb hurt every. Will Fuller. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. I think it could. I mean, it could play a factor. I guess. I mean, I think. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I can't. Those guys, when you mention them, like I can see them like getting hurt. I mean, they get hurt a lot. So I
yeah,
think. But yeah, it should be. I guess a good game. I mean, so far on the schedule. I mean, besides maybe the Saints, I think the Bears could play with these teams, but we'll see. I mean, it's pretty early. I think we'll see how they turn out. But yeah. So moving on to week 10 is against versus the Vikings Monday Night Football at Soldier Field. Kirk Cousins cannot win Monday Night Football games. So and the Bears have beat the Vikings 4 straight times. Pretty confident that the Bears probably got this. Depends on what the Vikings have done so far this season, but yeah, we'll see.
yeah. I think something interesting is the Vikings swapping out Jefferson or Diggs out for Jefferson out of LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll be curious to see how he plays. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's obviously not as big as DK Metcalf, but I think he'll play kind of that role, just kind of a big red zone guy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And the Vikings. I mean, I think they declined so much. I mean, they lost so many defensive players. Like Linval Joseph, I think was on. Like Everson Griffin.
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
Xavier Rhodes. I mean, he's not a big one, but he's pretty
yeah.
big. Um, but
I
I think
think
yeah, go ahead. I think like the Vikings are gonna decline this year. I think I could see them finishing
when
like
they
30.
returned, I'm obviously returned. The one guy's still under contract, but is
Mhm.
the only like big name returning is the safety. Is it Smith?
Harrison Smith, I think.
Yeah, Harrison Smith.
Yeah, I mean he's like one of the only good
And I mean
players.
he's a top 5 safety, top 10, top 5 safety in the league. But I mean,
hmm Yeah, I think.
so is kind of reminds me of the Lions defense when they had Darius Slay. It's like, yeah, he's the top dog, but I mean,
Can't
what's he gonna do alone?
Yeah, he just needs a little help, and yeah, I don't know. Unless I mean, the Vikings didn't really do that this offseason, so I don't know. I think the Bears could definitely beat them here. Should be a good game Monday Night Football, but yeah. So moving on to Week 11, we do have a bye this week. Nice to have a little bit of
Nice
a
bye to have.
Week
That's a good
11.
bye to have before that back stretch of games.
And it's like we had the
Bye for
bye.
the Packers.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Like, and I think like we had an early bye last year, like week 6, I think, and it's like, well, it's a bye, but it's like we just came back from London, so it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of a tough bye to have. I mean, but well, I guess it's beneficial because we're just in London, but it's kind of like, okay, well, we just have to travel across the pond, and like that's a long travel, but. This is a nice bye, especially when you're going into Lambeau to play the Packers, which looks like it'll be Sunday Night Football after Thanksgiving. So yeah, that'll be a.
The Bears, I think they gotta hope that they can enter that bye week 7-3 or
Yeah,
better.
I agree. I think yeah, 7. I think 7-3 is actually a good record or a good target to have. I could definitely see that. But yeah, a lot of these opponents are, I mean, beatable. I mean, but I guess the Bears gotta become a good football team themselves, which they are. I mean, I think that great defense isn't going anywhere, and they'll be ready and rumbling this season. I think it just has to start with the offense. We can't be seeing these 20-point, 21, 20-point games. It's like we need more than that. But we'll see. Yeah, the Packers. I mean, it's at Lambeau. I can't. The last time we won in Lambeau, I'm trying to think. 2015 Favre night. So
Yeah.
and it's around that time of the schedule, coming off a bye. I think it's realistic. I do. It depends on where the Packers are at right now in the season, what their record is. But I think this could be maybe the time we win for the first time in 5 years at Lambeau. But we'll see. I mean, I think
I think that's probably the best Bears game I've ever seen when they won in Lambeau on Favre night on
Dude.
Thanksgiving.
I was so hyped. That was so
were
fun.
The Bears were 3-7 entering that game, absolute no hope for the season. But then they went in there and they just screwed up the Packers.
Yeah, it was like the torture of that season, but it's just like you beat the Packers, and it's like
that fourth down play. They're on the 15, 20-yard line. The Packers needed a touchdown. And it's like, oh my God, Rodgers is gonna somehow pull this off. I've seen this every game ever.
And it's like it's almost expected with Rodgers. Like if it's like you see the script, and it's like, okay, well, let's see, we're in Lambeau, we're up 3. Rodgers has the ball at the 10-yard line, first and goal with like a minute left, and it's like, oh dang, well, we've lost. Another Rodgers comeback, and it's like 4th down, and they don't get it, and it's like, did that really just happen? Like, is this real?
It's like I see oh man, I think it was LeBlanc. I think they go for it, and you see him kind of swat the ball forward. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna happen. It's gonna touch the ground, and the game's gonna end.
It was great. I love that. That was like one of my favorite games of all time. It's awesome. It was awesome. And I think, around that similar time, coming off a bye, I think this could be a win. I really think it could. But yeah, moving on to week 13 is against the Lions for the second time this season. It's at Soldier. The Bears have really had no trouble beating the Lions at Soldier, except if you want to count the Connor Barth game where he missed that 46-yarder. But yeah, I think the Bears should win this easily.
Wait, which game is it?
Bears versus Lions, Week 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a easy win. I don't know where the Bears will be at. I think they'll be pretty good in record. I mean, could be a good confidence game. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, not much to say there really. Just it's the Lions, you know. I mean, what do you expect? I guess like the same thing. I mean, I don't know. We'll see, but should be a win there.
For sure.
Going on. Wait, did I? Week 14, we play.
I was gonna say you mixed up Titans and Texans.
I did. So we'll talk about the Titans. Because I wrote Texans twice on my notebook. I'm sorry, guys. We play the Titans week 9. Damn. Okay, that's my fault. Yeah, I wrote Texans twice. So we'll just talk about the Titans now. The Titans could be somewhat of I mean, kind of. It's at Tennessee, you know. I think it should be a good game, I think. And, yeah, I mean, should be. I mean, we'll see what happens. But, yeah. Week 15, we do play the Vikings again. Kind of close to, you know, week 10, week 15. Usually spread out a little bit. But, yeah, at Minnesota. We have came to Minnesota twice the past 2 seasons and have won. I mean, I guess you do count when the Minnesota played their backups, but it's, yeah, I think, you know, Minnesota is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that one time, like 2 years ago, it was like a Week 17 game, and we were clinched and out of a bye, and I don't think Mitch played that game.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think, you know, finally, I think we played the Vikings like the past, like 3 times in a row last season at Minnesota on the last game of the season, so it's kind of nice to play them, I guess, week 15, you know. But this should be an interesting game. I mean, week 15, kind of getting around that time, you know, playoffs or no playoffs. This was kind of around the time where the Bears just beat the Cowboys. They're 7-6, and they need some wins, and this should be a good game, I think. Definitely could be a make or break for the season, and I think the Bears, you know, coming off maybe that Monday night game against them, maybe a little bit more confident if they win, and it should be interesting.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, week 16 is at Jacksonville. I think this is probably one of the easiest games of the season. Jacksonville, I mean, they got some decent offensive weapons in, like, DJ Chark. That's really all I can think of. And, like, they're losing Fournette, who, even if he was still on the team, I
think they let go D.D. Westbrook, too.
Yeah, so I think, like, that offense, man, like, the defense, they lost so much. I mean, it's insane.
They might be the most openly tanking team in NFL history.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
besides the Dolphins last year.
Yeah, if Minshew perhaps like pulls a little magic, I don't know. I don't see it really. I mean, I think he's a little bit overhyped, but we'll see.
At this point, I think the Jaguars will be relegated and pretty much just trying to get a pick, like the number 1 pick.
I think so, yeah. I mean, this should be, depending on, like, this could be, if we're trying to make the playoffs, this could be a great game. Because I remember last year, 7-6, just got off the Cowboys game. We had to play the Packers, Chiefs, and Vikings, who were all playoff teams. And it's like, now I saw this game on the schedule, and I'm like, well, like, a little bit of a break here, maybe get a win, get our confidence up, get a win to potentially be in position to make the playoffs. So it's nice. I think it's nice. And, so we'll move on to the final game of the season, Week 17 versus the Packers at Soldier Field. Now, this could be a deciding division game, perhaps, if we were there, or, to get us into the playoffs. But this should be a fantastic game, maybe a playoff. I mean, when we play the Packers at Soldier, it's always a playoff atmosphere.
I think this is
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously, I think it'll be undoubtedly the biggest game of the year, or it will be an irrelevant game where we're both clinched and neither of us have first round buys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be a scenario too. I think
It will either be the most important or the least important.
it could. Yeah, I think if both teams are in the playoffs, yeah, like you said, it won't really matter. But always good to have those little bit of bragging rights too. Maybe get. Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Bears is the QB situation is like. I think you win. I think at this point, if it's week 17, maybe if the scenario, if Foles does come in, take over, and do good, maybe like a little bit of a Mitch return game and like
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, if Mitch plays all season and Foles doesn't get a shot, I think this would be a great game for Foles to get a shot and to
Mhm.
prove himself.
Yeah, either way, and it's like
Because
I think
anytime we play Green Bay, it's always competitive.
it is. Yeah, I think so, and it's like I think the thing that reminds me of I think this kind of popped in my head. It's like when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. It's really bad, and the final game of the season when the Vikings are already clinched to bye, and it's like Teddy Bridgewater comes in and gets an ovation. I feel like I don't know. Probably the Bears aren't those type of fans, but I know if that does happen and Nick Foles plays the rest of the season, and Mitch comes in, I'll give him an ovation. I don't know about the other Bears fans, but I think I love Mitch. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
It will be interesting to see. I mean, we could get a taste of Jordan Love and how that product's turning out.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, we could see Jordan Love. Hopefully, I mean, he plays a little bit garbage, but so we don't see.
I always like to beat Rodgers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
The thing is, the Bears have been in this spot so many times where it comes into this game, they need to beat Green Bay, and they lose this Week 17 game.
oh for sure. Oh yeah,
I
20.
see it. I do not see that happening again.
Yeah, I don't either. I think I don't think there's anyone on the team from 2013, but I think maybe Nagy will show that clip and be like, "This will happen.
Yeah.
We can't do this to our fans again. So let's go out there and kick some butt." But
And they'll figure out some way to motivate them and make sure that doesn't happen.
for sure, yeah, and yeah, I think this overall schedule, I think is a great, decent schedule. I think it's like the 13th hardest schedule, but it certainly does not seem like it. But we'll see. I mean, it's a great schedule. I could see us like maybe for a record prediction, like if I had to give one, 10-6, maybe 9-7.
I was going to say 10-6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think 10-6 is probably a realistic mark, but we'll see. Yeah, I think good to get the schedule out. I don't know if they're gonna do anything regarding the coronavirus or not, but I hope we'll assume the season starts on time. Yeah, I think this is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of games where it really won't matter too much who's playing quarterback, like
Mm-hmm.
in that early going. So when the Bears make their decision for the starter, which I think it will be Mitch, I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a Bears fan who hates Mitch, don't worry about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
those early games, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Chase Daniels could lead the Bears to 4-0.
He could. Yeah, I think those first four games are definitely, I would say, probably the easiest of scheduled games I think we've had in a while. Definitely the first four, but yeah, I think the schedule looks great. Can't wait to get the season going, and yeah, that'll probably do it for this episode. Thanks for coming on, Eli. This is great. We'll definitely have you on again, and yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, bear down.